So, Jim, yeah, I mean, initially, so just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been an entrepreneur for a very long time. Been involved in several businesses over the years. Started a shoe company back in 1987. Opened up at one of our biggest malls here in Toronto, in the center. There was a recession that hit in '89, starting with the bubble burst in the real estate market, and had to pivot. So I went into the restaurant business for a few years, and the '90s didn't prove to be the greatest of economies here in Canada, in Ontario, I'll say specifically. So just been jumping from one business to another until I was able to latch onto something. Tried it for about 10 years, and in 2000, just before 2000, well, actually in 1998, I started an ISP, an internet service provider, and was trying with my partner to develop enough clientele for one of the big providers to buy us up. We missed the mark by about 7,000 subscribers. And Rogers Communications, I'm sure you've heard of them. There wasn't enough, so we didn't get a buyout. And then, of course, little by little, the business was vacuumed in by Rogers, with their internet services and all that. Of course, back then, internet was still in its infancy. But from that time on, I developed a real interest for it and never really let go. Always followed technology, always followed the progress of W. And early 2000s, I had a business going for about 4 years. We hit another snag in the early 2000s with trying to get that business over the hump into something, a little more substantial. That didn't happen. So I had a young family at the time, and I decided to get a job with the public service. And I've been with them ever since. And I've always had a side hustle, as they call it, ever since. And that brings me to this point. Well, a lot of details in between, but we only have a few hours, or not a few days.
No worries. Yep. But you got really interested in AI from this, right?
Yep.
So kind of like got you thinking about this initiative, and then like why was it like important for you? So you dedicate like a lot of your time and energy towards it.
Well, it was a two-stage process. The primary process was that I wanted to get into some kind of online business because I'm getting a little on in years, and I just wanted to be able to make a little bit of money and leave my public service job and work from on my computer. And I'm very comfortable working on my computer. I've collected so many desktops and laptops over the years. I mean, I've got a whole room full of them. So I'm constantly updating myself, constantly keeping on the path. So I was looking at affiliate marketing. So I took some time looking at some of the different operators that have been out there, some of the mentors, some of the tutors, some of the some good and not so good guys that trying to offer a way of learning about it. And I found someone that I was following for a while, and I didn't really pull the trigger on anything with them. But as I was trying to decide, I decided on affiliate marketing. I wanted to try that because I felt like I've been in sales all my life. I want, might as well try to channel that energy into affiliate marketing. So, and while I was at the tail end of, picking something, you show up. But the thing is, prior to that, was it about, I think it was a week or 2 weeks before that, my brother-in-law who's in marketing, showed me this company called Bland, and he says, "Here, check it out." So that just blew my mind. And ever since then, I couldn't think of anything else. But yeah, phone agents, they were offering a service. I was looking into it, asking about possible reselling or white labeling and so on and so forth. I didn't get much of a response. And then the timing of you showing up on the YouTube video, that kind of said to me, you know what, I got to talk to this guy. And here we are.
Awesome. And so you got like kind of infatuated with this AI phone call service, and you found me from like YouTube.
Yeah.
And what did you do next? Like, what is the problem you were trying to solve?
I guess the problem I was trying to solve was deciding what to do. Was I going to learn about how to make these agents? Because I did delve into it a little bit with the AI, the Vertex AI and Gemini. Started slowly learning how to use the Google console. And it was a little overwhelming. So I kind of took a step back from that and said, okay, Jim, you got to decide. There's two distinct things to do here. You learn about it, build them yourself, and serve yourself with for what you've learned, or stick with what you think you know best and find somebody else that can do it for you that's already, in that business. So I basically had to pick not just a lane, but I wanted to pick a narrower lane, something I could stay in, something that's sustainable. And so I was looking around at different services. Like I said, I looked at Bland, I looked into a couple of others, and then that's around the time that I discovered you.
Awesome. And yeah, if you want to say, like, how did we kind of help you make like your demos and
Yeah.
everything? How'd you like working with us in general? Because we kind of tried to position you as like the marketer and us as the tech back end.
It came to a point where I felt that I was underachieving because of what you were offering and how quickly you were offering it. And I kind of felt like I wasn't keeping up. But to go into more of the question that you're asking, I can simply say that anything I needed, your team was there. Danny was there with helping me create a demo for a potential client. I had questions; they were answered immediately. The quality of the work was great. I listened to some other of the providers of the similar thing that you do. Their demos weren't even close. The way you were doing things, everything was clear. There was a lot of options, languages, types of voices, even customizing a voice. So, you started telling me about all these things on our first meeting with yourself and Danny and Ismail, and forgive me for forgetting. It's just, wow. I says, this is what I need. And I felt I was ready to get started at it. We've taken a little bit of a reset now, but hey, that's just grounding myself and getting myself in a better position to be successful.
Yeah. So I'm hoping you actually, what I'm trying to understand is like what kind of stuff you like learned from this whole ordeal, or like just working with us in general. If you've learned stuff about the technology,
I've learned through the pitch deck that you sent me what the things were that that you're able to do, and that was an eye opener. Seeing all the services that you were offering and going to be providing down the road, and I started with the basics. Incoming calls, a bit of web content that you uploaded into the original demo. I'm sorry, I'm going off.
No. Speak your mind. It's all good.
No, that's so the help that I got, whoever was on the team that had more, not necessarily knowledge, but more information for me for the various things I was asking about. You guys are right there.
Awesome. And kind of like, what would you say? Like, let's say you were to recommend us to another company. Like, what would you tell them?
I'm pausing here because there's a lot, and they're all good things. And I would say the efficiency of the service, the intermediate final product at the time of what I was asking for, everything was on point. Everything was right on. It was what I expected and more. The quality of the voice, the latency, the ability for the agent to answer the simple questions that I posed to it. Simply because you guys did a great job in uploading with the right information. I hope I'm using the right word, uploading.
It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out.
Uploading, putting in.
Magic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I would say to them, you know what? Whatever information and whatever you're being told by yourself and from the other team, believe it. Believe it, because I've seen a product of it, albeit a very small piece of it. But nevertheless, you talk the talk and it looks like you're walking the walk. So that's what it looks like to me. And that's what I would say to somebody if they would ask me.
Awesome. Thank you, Jim. Yeah.